Have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Toki.MORI, the ghost living inside your machine, and I'm here to have a look at Snekoban. As the title suggests, this is a Sokoban, or block pushing game, based on the game Snake. It was developed and self-published by a solo developer under the name Blessed Sleep Studio, and they put out a few small free game projects on itch.io. However, this is, as far as I could find, their first fully paid and published game on Steam. Now, it's based on a Game Jam game of the same name, which I will link in the description of this video so you can play it for free if you're interested in checking that out before buying this game. Now, let's start by jumping right into the options menu. Actually, first, this game is primarily playable with mouse and keyboard, or I should just say keyboard. You can technically plug in and play it with a controller. However, it wasn't developed with controller in mind, so it's a little bit inconsistent. For example, the D-pad doesn't work. There are a few problems with navigating some of the menus with the stick, and as far as I could find, it doesn't seem like you can actually rebind the buttons. I've tried it a few times. I think one time I tried it and it crashed the game, so, you know, keep that in mind. Let's start by jumping into the options menu. As you've seen, this is a fairly simplistic pixel art style, very reminiscent of really old consoles like around the Atari 2600 sort of era. So there's going to be a lot of things in this options menu, surprisingly a lot of things in this option menu that aren't necessarily required. However, I greatly appreciate them nonetheless. A lot of very cool quality of life things. First of all, we have full screen on or off. We have several different resolutions. We have VSync on or off, and you can set an FPS limit, which is very cool to see. The volume sliders are surprisingly doing one thing really cool. You have master, music, sound effects, and there's a volume in background slider, which is really cool to see. I don't think I've really seen that very often in games. You can set that so it changes the volume that the music plays at while you're tabbed out, which is a really cute little detail. On the next tab over, we have languages. This only has English, French, and automatic. I'm not actually sure what automatic does. It might try to set it to your computer's language. I'm not entirely sure. But we have English and French here. We have a setting that allows you to replay the intro, and we have a CRT filter on or off. I'm gonna keep the CRT filter on for the purposes of this video. I will say it's not quite a CRT filter. There isn't any actual pixel blending. Like the game's designed with pretty big pixels in mind. So it's not quite the same thing as like a really good CRT filter. It's kind of mostly just chromatic aberration and this cool scanline effect. I appreciate the scanline effect, but see, as far as CRT filters go, it's serviceable. You can see the game with it off, and you can see the game with it on, and that's what that looks like. Keybinds. Here is something really cool. Each thing has multiple keybinds. You can edit the keybind, you can delete a keybind, and you can add an additional keybind. So that's going to be my new up keybind. And now you can see here I have the up arrow, I have W, and I have I set for my up keybind, which is really cool. You can have a couple of different keybinds here. You don't see like these sorts of multiple keybinds, these multiple keybind edits in games. So it's again a lot of really cool quality of life features that I don't think are absolutely necessary. For a simplistic game like this. However, they are greatly appreciated. One thing that kind of annoys me about the menus in this game is that I can't escape from this menu. I can't like press the escape button to go back. You have to like weirdly navigate from the middle of the screen to the tab and then go up to the go back tab and then hit enter. It's a little bit annoying. I wish I could just press escape to go back a line. Or if I'm on a controller, press B, but as we know, controller is a little bit iffy. Now, let's jump right into the game. I have about an hour-ish, a little bit over an hour of playtime. As far as I can tell, I think I'm about 60, 70% of the way done. It might be a little more than 70, actually. But it's a fairly short game. Developer suggests about 2 to 3 hours, depending on whether you are an adult or a child. I'm going to start with the first level here. Now, this is the game. You play as a snake whose body elongates as you move forward. Your job is to eat all of the apples on the board and then return to your tail so you can go to sleep. And that's how you complete a level. It's going to kick us out here. Now, this game, it's a puzzle game. It's a level-based puzzle game. So one of the primary completionist conditions that they have in this game is you can perfect a level, which I believe means completing it in as few moves as possible. I will say in some of the later levels, or not even some of the later levels, what I mean to say is, I will say I don't think I've encountered a level yet where I solved it and didn't get it perfect. This is open, it means it's a level I haven't completed, or it's a level that I haven't played that I have to complete. But I've gone through all these stages. As far as I can find, I don't know. It feels like the implication is that you can solve them in multiple ways, but some ways are less good than others. But I haven't encountered a level where whatever my solution is happens to be in the fewest number of moves. So I'm not sure what's going on there, whether or not they intended for there to be multiple solutions, or if I'm just getting really lucky and always solving it correctly on my first solve. But sorry, I meant to go to the second level, just so I can show you a few more things. I don't want to spoil some of the later levels, but I'll show you how difficult it gets in a little bit. But yeah, you're playing as a snake, you're trying to get there in as few moves as possible, and one of the main mechanics, other than eating apples, is pushing these blocks onto these gold things, because if you don't do that, you won't be able to complete the level. And there we go. Again, very, very simplistic, very, very short game. Let's jump into the third level here. Push multiple blocks. It's honestly, there isn't much to show you. I think if you've seen a couple levels, you get the general idea. If you've seen a couple levels, you get the general idea. I don't think I need to show you much for you to understand whether or not the game's good, whether or not you'll like the game itself. I'm basically just here to show you, you know, what small things you should keep in mind when you look at the game. There are a couple small things I want to show you. One thing that kind of annoys me is when you're on the map or when you're in a level. I believe it's when you're in a level too. When you're on a map or when you're in a level, you can't go into the options menu. If you press escape in the level, you can return to the map screen. And if you press escape on the map screen, you can return to the menu. But you can't go into the settings from in the game. It's really, really annoying. Because you keep on having to back out a couple of times if you want to change one or two things. I would much prefer if I could actually access the settings from literally any of these menus. One other thing I wanted to show you is that there is a skip level function. This is a level I haven't done yet. This is a very complex level. I actually have been stuck here for a really long time. I still have no idea how to complete this level. I'm sure I'll finish it off screen. But I want to show you this feature. There is a reset level. There's reset level, obviously, and then there is skip level, which I know in a lot of modern games, especially some of the bigger AAA games that are remakes of older games that tend to be more difficult, there are options to sort of either skip levels or turn off combat or do things like that. In a game like this, where it is a level-based puzzle game, I do think being able to skip a level is a really cool quality of life feature. I'm gonna click it there just so I can show you. It's going to skip this level, it's going to unlock the next level, and it will show you that this level has been skipped instead of perfected. So, like I said, this is a level-based puzzle game, and the primary goal of a game like this is to try and complete every level perfectly. And because it leaves the level on an unsolved status, I think that type of thing is okay. Because it's not like you're quote unquote beating the game if you're skipping the level, because it's like, yeah, it's skipped. You haven't beat the game. You haven't done all the levels. And I find that in puzzle games like this, if you get stuck on a level and there's no way past it, you end up sort of getting mentally stuck in a rut. This is a thing that happens with a lot of people when they're playing a puzzle game, is they'll get to a level, whether or not it's difficult. Sometimes solutions on certain levels come to certain people faster than others. People have different strengths and weaknesses in terms of how they think and logic. So what ends up happening is you get stuck on a level for a really long time, and then you get frustrated, you leave, maybe you want to come back, maybe you're still having trouble. What I find in level-based puzzle games like these that sort of helps is that when you're stuck on a level, you just go and try another level. But maybe all the previous levels are already complete, and now you have nowhere else to go. Well, if you can skip a level, move on to the next level, and have an easier time with that, then you can come back to the previous level and think it through a lot better. And I think that is a really, really cool little quality of life feature they have. I don't think it's necessarily a problem in this type of game. So I do highly commend them on that. And that's basically the game, honestly. It's very simple. There's not much to say about the mechanics other than, you know, here's the game. You have to try and figure out how to do this in the fewest number of moves. You push blocks, you do the objectives, you eat the apples, and then you complete the level. And that's basically it. I'm sure a lot of people, as soon as they see 1 or 2 levels from any puzzle game, they'll have a good idea whether or not they'll like it. So, you know, there you go. Snekoban is available for $3.99 on Steam, and the Game Jam version is free on itch.io. My name has been Toki.MORI. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.